From Tampa Bay's #1 news station, this is Good Day Tampa Bay.
All right, so let's stay with this for just a moment. Let's talk about proving sexual harassment. Sometimes that can be difficult. We brought in attorney Dale Appel to talk to us about this. And good morning to you,
Good
Dale.
morning.
You know, some people have tried to keep journals. We've talked to some women who've tried to record or document it somehow. How can you protect yourself and start documenting these kinds of things? What's your advice?
Well, in Florida, you have to be careful because recording somebody, either a recording device or video without their permission is illegal. So, you know, you can certainly have a phone, especially because phones are pervasive, they're always on you, and you can let the person know that you're recording them, and certainly that may stop. And if it doesn't stop, it certainly acts as evidence, or videotape them. But the other thing that you can do is, after an incident occurs that you find offensive, that's a sexual advance that has been comfortable for you, if you write it down, maybe send an email about your experience, about what happened, provide as much detail as possible, and maybe even how you felt about the situation, how it made you feel, and then send it to yourself. You document when it occurred and what occurred, and if you build up a case like that and show the progression, that can really be helpful in proving your harassment case.
Yeah. Do you always have to prove it? Does there always have to be proof? I mean, a lot of these allegations we've heard of late have happened where there's no documentation of it at all. It literally is their word against theirs.
Well, that actually is evidence in a case. The problem is that a jury is going to have to sit back and say, well, who do I believe? Do I believe that person or do I believe that person? So you want to help the jury make a decision about who to believe, and the documentation can go a long way. If it's just a matter of a verbal, why didn't you complain to somebody? Why didn't you document it? Why didn't you? But if you can show that you did complain to your employer, or that you sent an email to yourself describing the incident, the jury's going to say, you know, now that we're looking at it, we believe her, because it shows that she had this whole process of going through this harassment, and we have evidence both in terms of her testimony and something in writing that we can rely upon. And of course, if you can bring in other people and show that other people were similarly harassed by this person, the jury's going to sit back and say, well, at some point we're going to believe you, and we're not going to believe the person doing the harassment.
What a painful thing for a woman to have to endure, for anyone to have to endure. As a lawyer, how do you prove this kind of thing? What is sexual harassment, and how do you prove it in a court of law?
Well, sexual harassment is an unwelcome sexual advance, whether it be verbal or physical. And so you need evidence to show the jury, or if there's some type of criminal activity where they violate state law, where we have sexual battery, you need to be able to prove it either through some type of testimony, which is evidence, or through some type of evidence such as text messages or proof that they called you late at night. So there's various ways that you gather that information in order to be able to prove your case. But the more you can gather as far as hard evidence that the jury or the state attorney can look at, the better likely you're going to have success in a sexual harassment case.
All right. Dale Appel, so much to talk about. And we'll be back at 8 o'clock talking much more about this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.